Hello and welcome to Ctrl Alt WoW AprilPvd. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, 2026, and this is episode 876, Multiplay Your Way. This is the podcast where I share my retirement views and most of all my VR video playing, and this week is no different. Multiplaying your way means that you can multiplay in so many ways. Of course, my main game used to be No Man's Sky, and just a heads up, no Man's Sky this week. Mostly Pal World, and I've been having a blast. And I've tried a couple of new ways of playing it in multiplay. The first was with the community server, and that was interesting. And then I also joined a server with some women from Facebook, and that was really interesting. I got a lot of things accomplished. I've learned a lot more about my pals. I've actually made some changes to the base and upgraded it, and I've just been having a really good time in Pal World. I hope you enjoy listening to my week in VR, in Pal World, and of course I'm still single, sober, and on a small budget that VR and video games allows me to enjoy my retirement. If you have any questions, you can write me at ctrolaltwow@gmail.com and enjoy my week in VR. I got so much done on Wednesday. The third tower quest started at the beach, but ended up way up in the mountains, and there was some issue with intense heat. So I had to make sure they had some kind of a suit or armor that would protect them from the heat. Both Aprillian and AprilPvd got flying mounts, and I learned how to use them. They aren't a complete cure because they do suffer from stamina, but they helped a lot. Aprillian even found coal up in the mountains, which was good because they needed it for the integrated ingots that were going to be the next thing that they were going to need to build stuff. AprilPvd dismantled the first base and then went scouting for a resource base to get ore. At first, the pals she put at the base weren't mining the ore. And then I realized that I needed to get pals with a higher ore rating. The whole game is such a learning experience. I'm really having to use my brain and figure out stuff. But then I started multi-boxing because I needed food at the resource base. So while I was on one character, I brought the other one in on the flat screen and had that character make and one of their party members make the pals food. They worked the cooking at the other base, and then they moved that food over to the main base. I didn't want to make the resource base too complicated. I just made the beds, and I actually put an expedition at the resource base so that I could run 2 expeditions at the same time, and that really worked out well. I'm getting a lot of ore from that second base, and then AprilPvd can run an expedition at one base, and Aprillian can make an expedition at the second base. Now, on Thursday, I was really getting the hang of the flying, and I got to the third tower with AprilPvd, but of course it's very tough, and I died twice. And then I gave up and I started looking for coal for the special ingots. Of course, the battle was hard. It's gonna be hard anytime you move up a level and you fight a different boss. But I'm learning some things about the battle, and I'm hoping maybe if I come in with Aprillian and AprilPvd, I'll be able to take them on. Now, Friday, I had a blast playing Aprillian, trying to get her up a little higher so I could multi-box with her for the third tower. I was taking her into various dungeons to get coal because that's a really good place to get it. And then I found the bee garden, which I needed because it drops honey when you put it on a farm. And I was able to get honey for the cakes so that I can get my characters, my pals, to mate. So that was a good thing. I'm really learning a lot more about the intricacies of how to get resources. So, you get resources when you capture a pal. I actually thought you only got them when you killed a pal. So there was a time when I was going around killing those lamb things to get wool, not realizing that I could also just capture them. And at the beginning, you don't have to worry about over capturing stuff because you're going to be able to compress if you have too many of one kind or another. So it's actually pretty good to get as much of one as you can. And of course, I'm still doing the double expeditions on each of my characters so that they can each get the extra civilization things that they need to make stuff, and that's working out really well. Saturday, I decided to try a community server. The idea came to me while I was working out. Of course, when I work out, I usually get a lot of great ideas. And of course, I did my VR workout on Saturday, and that went well. I do gravitate towards multiplayer games, but I end up playing solo a lot, even in games like No Man's Sky. But there was always the possibility of running to people. And of course, playing with my alts is another reason why I like playing a lot of multiplayer games. So I looked for a server and found one I thought would be good, not busy, and I logged in with both AprilPvd and Aprillian, and I just added an X to both of their names to differentiate. I did make one mistake in that I had Aprillian join the AprilPvd guild, and then AprilPvd logged off and I forgot to promote Aprillian. And so for the first half hour or so, I could not put a PAL box down because I wasn't promoted in the guild. At first I thought it was because there was a lot of bases around, but then I figured out, so I left that guild and then created another guild and then brought AprilPvd in to join my guild, and that worked. But that meant that I was further out than I normally would make my first base. But that turned out to be good because being on a community server is a lot like going into a house where other people are living and they've already built stuff. And there's a lot of bases around. I was interesting because there was some text chatter. I think next time I go in, I'm going to turn on voice chat. I don't think I had ever turned that on. I love the mechanics of starting over, but the whole time I was thinking I really should get back to my other server, which I did. My goal on that server is to level up Aprillian so she can join AprilPvd in the battle for the third tower. And also figuring out which pets to bring in to power up. Aprillian went into a bunch of dungeons because that's a really quick way to level up. Now, the towers and the dungeons and there's also these boss battles. There's several different ways to get levels and to get resources. So she went into a couple of dungeons and got some really good stuff and some really good pets. And she found the pet that she needed to complete some of the side missions, which were good. The side missions are really small things that get you extra stuff that you can use to level your technology or level up your pets. And I really enjoy doing the main missions and the side missions. You know, you get these books and stuff. Uh, Aprillian got some books to get extra technology points, but she puts those in a chest for AprilPvd because AprilPvd is further ahead than Aprillian. And so she has access to more stuff and she needs more technology points. So, and the way I'm doing it between the two of them is that AprilPvd is opening up most of the stuff, but Prillian is saving her points for other things that we might need. There is an oil rig near my main base, and I never investigated it. I don't know why. I just thought it was something dangerous. And then I saw something on, I think it must have been a YouTube channel about them, or maybe it was on Facebook. But anyways, it turns out that there is a lot of stuff to explore on the Syndicate oil rig, and there's a lot of goodies to get. I thought it would have been harder, but I actually did pretty good. And I had a lot of fun exploring it. And there is one big chest that has a lot of good stuff in, and then there's a whole bunch of small chests. And I also captured some of the Syndicate guys that I'm going to use to compress into my main person that I have on my base. He's a merchant guy, so I like having him there because I can buy from him. And then I'll be able to use these guys to compress. And I had a good time fighting it. It's a really challenging battle because you do have to pay a lot of attention. But at the same time, it's so much goodies. And I found out that they respawn like every 24 hours or so. So I'm going to have to make a visit there more often. And you're leveling up your pets and you're leveling up a lot of things. So it's something I'm going to do again in the future. I learned how to turn off the auto defense machines, and I got some good pets. And I learned how to use some of my pets really well. And it was a really good experience. Then I brought in Aprillian to manufacture stuff for me while AprilPvd was out. Questing. I like using multiplayer this way. I can have my second character build stuff. I can have my second character do the expeditions and also use her pals to build things, and it works out really well. I joined a girls' Facebook group for Pal World. And it's really interesting. It's all women, and someone suggested doing a server, and they wanted it to be 18 plus. And one of the really nice women volunteered to set up a paid server because we discussed other ways of doing it. And at one point, I had mentioned that, you know, I had a dedicated server, but I wasn't comfortable opening up the ports. And then I was thinking about sharing the server that I had with Grand Nagus because, you know, we haven't been on in a while. But one of them stepped up and found a server for $6 a month, which isn't bad. I'm paying $14 for the one that Grand Nagus and I are using. So I joined them and I made a character. And this was Sunday night. It was already past my bedtime, but I wanted to try this. And it was interesting. Instead of voice chat, we use Discord. So I'm on Discord in my headphones while running the quest line. And we made some discussions. Some people wanted to do a guild, but my main concern with doing a guild, and that I have found from running a guild with AprilPvd and Aprillian, is that you end up having to share the base, and we don't know if everybody's going to be on at the same time, and some people's ideas are different than other people's. Plus, the other problem is that you you will need to put your pals away if you're not going to be on, or if somebody's not going to be there to feed them, because the pals will starve. I've learned that the hard way. So there was some talk about different things and different ways to do things, particularly one thing that somebody wanted to do was mods, which I don't have any information on mods. I haven't even tried to do mods on any Pal World version that I'm playing. So that would be interesting to try. But we'll see what happens. We played for over an hour, and I went out and made my own base while listening to the different ideas. Some people had already gotten their characters up pretty high, and I realized that I've been playing in a very, very slow version. But it's okay because I'm having fun, and it was just interesting to be on a server with other people and talking to them on Discord at the same time. I guess this is the equivalent of being on a shard on World of Warcraft. But we'll see how that goes. I got a little bit farther enough to get my own base and level up a little bit, but then it got late and I ended up logging off. I am a little conflicted about playing with others. I really like having a certain goal, but I also like, being around other people. It would be nice to have a guild. So on Monday, I did a lot of dual boxing. I kept one character doing one thing, logging in, while the other character went around to do some other things. One of the things that I was doing was finding some more of the pets that the PAL critics want you to show them. And I had some pets that AprilPvd had and some pets that AprilPvd had. So I was going through both of them while they were both on, one on the flat screen while I was in VR. One of the things that AprilPvd had done that I was really happy with was she had found something called quartz that AprilPvd needed to make circuit boards. The product line, the quest line in this game is really intriguing because, of course, as you level up, you're going to need more things, and as you need more things, you're going to have to go out further. And what's been interesting is each character has been exploring in a different place. And so one of them has found things that the other one didn't find. And it's working out really well for me. And this quartz was something that AprilPvd needed to make her next piece of equipment to level up the base. And so that was kind of exciting, because each time you level up the base, you get more the number of pals that you can have on the base, and then you also get the ability to have more bases. So as Sunday went along, I played a lot. I was on almost all day, and it was so much fun. And I got a lot of things done, including leveling up the base and getting more ore from my resource base that is working out pretty well. And yeah, I'm really loving that. Of course, I also did my VR workout on Monday, but I ended up playing a lot of Pal World. And it was really, really good. I got very far. I got AprilPvd up to 41, which was really important because she got the guild chest. She actually went out to fight a really hard boss and died a couple of times and killed some of her pals that she had with her. And then what I did was I came back to that same area where the boss was. It's one of the bosses that are in a circle. And this time what she did was she actually captured some of the pals around the boss. And they seem to be of a level and a resource that can fight that particular boss. And she went in and she was able to defeat the boss, and that was really a lot of fun. She also got her base up to level 15, which meant at level 14 she got the maximum number of pals you can have at a base, which you can change in the settings if you want to, but I was just doing the regular setting. And I'm also upgrading a lot of my pals' resource abilities by using the pal upgrade base. There's so many different things to make. She also made a brand new electric kitchen, which is going to allow her to make pizza, which has a lot of bonuses on it. And I'm learning how to delegate the different pals to where they need to be used the best. And it has really been a good week for playing. It's been a good week for me learning stuff. I think I may go back to that community server, the one that the women from the Facebook group set up, but I'm not sure. I kind of like doing my own thing, and I'm also looking forward to playing with Grand Nagus again. This game is so good, and there's so much to it, and I'm just at the middle, and I'm only, into the third tower. I'm hoping this week that I can learn more about upgrading my abilities and being able to take out that boss. But it has been a lot of fun, and I look forward to the rest of the week. Thanks for listening. You can email us at ctrolaltwow@gmail.com and follow us on Twitch. I sometimes stream on twitch.tv/thatAprilPvd, and of course that twitch.tv/ctrolaltwow. And you can find the show notes for this episode at Ctrl-Alt-Wow.com. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you next week.